Welcome to the Strenuous Life Radio, a podcast where leaders, and entrepreneurs, men and women, learn the specialties of the strenuous life. Hello everyone, and welcome to the Strenuous Life Radio. Jimi Hendrix here, and episode 54, striving, appetite for excellence. Okay, now I'm going to do some research and see if I can find a quote that I believe matches Theodore Roosevelt with excellence. How about this quote from Theodore Roosevelt? The best prerequisite of any citizen in this republic of ours is his willingness to pull his own weight. Let me tell you something. My mother and the man that raised me, my daddy, went all out in trying to teach me some of the doctrines of excellence. I remember, Daddy, when I was a small child, Daddy was trying to put on my shoes. Daddy would say, "James, I just wish you'd put in a little bit more effort. We'd all be okay." When I was 21, about to graduate from high school, he took me aside. He said, "Days come that you really become a man. Who knows, someday you're going to be on your own. Don't expect me or your mama to bail you out. You're going to start pulling your own weight, boy." Striving for excellence. There's so many things. I first heard about it when I was working my job as a adaptive equipment specialist, tutoring blind students technology and software at Otis College. And we would have these sessions where we learned study skills and how to strive for excellency, and we were given materials, personal development materials to read. And let me tell you something, I devoured those suckers up before I knew it was personal development. And so, you're going to strive for if you're going to strive for excellence, if you're going to appetite for excellence, you're going to have an ideal of personal responsibility, personal accountability. If you want me to be honest with you, a loyalty to God and country. That's just all there is to it. I think far too often nowadays, society truthfully, it just sloughs off. And it started with the label society gave my generation, Generation X. The slackers. The slackers. Come on, not all of us in Generation X are the slackers. And now you have the millennials in Generation Z. And to some degree, only time will tell how this generation turns out. I don't think all of Generation X was the slackers. I just think that was a label or reactive culture placed on us in our generation. You gotta think, those born in the 70s, maybe late 60s, were known as the latchkey kids. Now, I a little bit less so until I went off to high school. When I went off to high school, Mama did get a job that she was working pretty often, and so that's how it all came about. Let's see if I can kind of find a couple more quotes from Theodore Roosevelt about excellence. How about this one from Theodore Roosevelt? If you play, play hard. If you work, don't play at all. Now that sounds good, don't get me wrong. But I also think that nowadays with this combined economy, we don't have any more the agrarian age or too much of the industrial age. We are in an information outcome creation age economy. And so we have to be able to do well at what we love. Now, I'm not saying just play around with it like it's a hobby, okay? I agree with Theodore Roosevelt about that. If you're working at it, you're working at it. It's the best. It's the best you can possibly do. Okay? Here's another quote from Theodore Roosevelt. I love. Keep your eyes on the stars and your feet on the ground. In a way, I kind of like this. And we're going to transfer it over to the back lounge of the man cave where I talk about this. Now, Theodore Roosevelt reminds me of when I get a chance to do my speaking engagements again in person, there is something I want to teach called the gravity effect of success, or the gravity effect of overcoming adversity. I call it the gravity effect, and the reason why is if you've seen the movie Gravity, okay, there's two characters, Ryan Stone and Commander Kowalski. Now, Commander Kowalski ends up dying in space. But the one thing he says in his last visit to Ryan Stone is this before she returns to Earth. You put your feet on the ground and you start living life. Okay? You put your feet on the ground and you start living life. So I like that about the eyes on the stars and your feet on the ground. But I also believe keep your eyes on the prize and your feet on the ground. Striving for excellence is very important. It's something for you to begin to understand right here and right now. Now, I want to kind of finish off a little bit with a quote from the theologian Henry B. Eyring. He says, the great test of life is to see whether we will listen to God and obey His commandments. Now, on occasion, the Strenuous Life Radio, I am going to be bringing theology in here. And some of you will be like, well, why aren't you bringing the different forms of entrepreneurs? Why aren't you bringing in Bitcoin or affiliate marketing or anything like that? Why aren't you doing that? Believe me, I understand. But we need to have the soft skills done first. And then at some point, I will mention the importance of maybe investing in Bitcoin. I don't really know that much about it. But I've heard a lot of good things about it. And so, once I've done some more research, and I think it's timely to talk about it. But we're talking about striving for excellence, right? We're talking about striving for excellence. Now, stay tuned for the next episode, because we're going to be talking about we're going to be talking about a message of high public importance. Hope that you've enjoyed listening to the Strenuous Life Radio. If you like what you hear, please subscribe, become a part of the Strenuous Life Radio community. This is Jimi Hendrix saying until next time, don't just sit there and take it. Build your dreams so you can take it. Do what others don't so you can be what others won't. Do what others don't so you can have what others can't. Take care, and God bless.